This year, 311 people have lost their lives on New South Wales roads. Road trauma is so common that around 20% of the New South Wales population aged 18 and above have experienced the death of someone they knew on New South Wales roads. Now, yesterday marked World Day of Remembrance for road traffic victims, and here in New South Wales, an event was held to mark the event in Sydney. This year, there's a call for a permanent memorial for crash victims, and Nigel Smith is the spokesperson for the Road Trauma Support Group of New South Wales, and he joins me now. Good morning.
Good morning, Justin.
So how did you mark the occasion yesterday?
Yeah, Justin, so we held our inaugural World Day of Remembrance at Grace's Place, which is in Doonside in Sydney. So we had a barbecue lunch, followed by a really nice ceremony where we had some special VIP speakers, and we had a service remembering our loved ones, the people killed on the roads, and also to thank the first responders. So it was a very nice service just to really take time and think about all the people that have died on the roads.
Yeah, I can imagine it must have been a difficult day for everyone involved as you revisit those memories, but what sort of positives do you draw out of a day like that?
I think the real positive is that, you're not alone. There are other people out there that are going through this kind of trauma. And I think as a group, now I am part of the Road Trauma Support Group New South Wales, and it's really a group that I hope no one else ever has to join. But knowing that there is a group like that out there that has support and other people going through the same thing, it really gives you support knowing and comfort knowing that there are other people out there that you can talk to who have experience in going through exactly what you're going through.
Yeah, you mentioned it's a group that you hope no one has to join, but I guess what brought you to this group, Nigel? What's your personal connection to road trauma?
Yeah, so unfortunately, my 18-year-old son, Lachlan, was killed last February in a car crash up at Silverdale. He was an innocent passenger at the time in a car being driven at high speed.
Okay, and I know that as part of the commemorations, there's a call for a permanent memorial to be installed. What might this look like?
Yeah, so it's something that our group members have certainly been asking for a while now, and we seem to be getting some momentum behind it, which is great. So I think a few ideas is to have some memorial in a public location, whether it be a sculpture or some kind of monument, but really just as a place that people can go, not only on the World Day of Remembrance, but just when they feel the need to actually go and pay their respects to the loved ones that have been lost, the seriously injured, and also, again, pay respects and thank our emergency workers that have to go in and see these horrible things day in, day out.
Yeah, how important is it to have a place that people could go to, or a monument to commemorate that?
I think it's really important for our group especially. When someone is killed in a road trauma event, there's a huge ripple effect, and unless you're involved in something like this, I think people don't really understand how many people are impacted. And it's not only just the family and friends, but people like the community, first responders. It impacts hundreds, if not thousands, of people per crash. And when you have 313 people die on just our New South Wales roads alone this year, that's a lot of people that have been impacted.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier in the introduction that around 20% of the New South Wales population aged 18 and above would have experienced the death of someone they know on New South Wales roads. I'm talking to Nigel Smith. He's the spokesperson for the Road Trauma Support Group of New South Wales. And one of the other interesting things that I noticed that your organisation was raising this year was you're calling outdated legal response to culpable road deaths and injuries, and you're also advocating for a more serious approach. What exactly does that mean? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so currently we have submitted for the law reform. We are looking for road crime to be treated more seriously. So we feel that the current legislation is just not fit for purpose for the actual crimes that are committed. So we are pushing for that to be reviewed. Currently today, a lot of our members have been through that court process and are really let down by the justice system, and that's what we think is one of the main things that really needs to be reviewed.
Okay, and also another thing that you've raised is evidence-based actions to prevent and eventually stop more road deaths. What exactly would you like to see done that currently isn't being done on that front?
Yeah, so we need to actually do a lot more reporting on crashes and really truly understand what is causing them, and where we need to focus to try and stop these from happening in the future. So currently the Road Trauma Support Group has done our own research, which we are providing to different organisations to utilise, but I think that needs to be leveraged a lot more to actually do some studies, find out where we need to actually focus on things like education to really make sure that we bring these numbers down instead of trending up, get them towards zero, which is the real aim.
Yeah, based on that research that you've been doing, are there any themes that have been presenting themselves that you think warrant extra attention?
I think, speeding is the number one killer on our roads today, fairly closely followed by drunk driving. So they're the areas we really need to focus on to try and educate young people that we really need to review and think of the consequences when you get behind the wheel. That when you kill someone, it has huge life-lasting impacts on families like mine.
You're also calling for better support for road traffic victims and their families. This is what you provide as part of the Road Trauma Support Group of New South Wales. But where are things falling short on that front, do you think?
One of the biggest things that's really falling short is just through the CTP process. I think at the moment, we are working with Sarah at the moment to certainly improve that process. So when people are involved in crashes, how we can improve the counselling that they get after these crashes, where what happens if you lose a loved one at the moment. That's something that, a lot of people really need is support and counselling. And quite often that support is needed for not just the short term, but for years ahead because of the impact there is. So that's something that we're working with people like Sarah to try and improve that whole process with the CTP.
Okay, well, given it was World Day of Remembrance for road traffic victims, a good time to be putting these sorts of issues back on the agenda. And Nigel, I thank you for talking to me this morning.
Okay, thank you, Justin.
That's Nigel Smith, the spokesperson for the Road Trauma Support Group of New South Wales.